the literary life, man, is the best life ever. I'll take it over any movie star. I don't want to be Brad Pitt sitting for 12 hours in a trailer on some movie lot just getting swamped every time I go out there. Dude, I get to walk around in the woods with my dogs. I get to distill my entire life over again. Every crappy relationship I've ever had, every nowhere job, every heartbreak, every thrill, every, and I have to engage this world every day. There's something out there every single day, something out there in my world makes it into my fiction. If not now, later. Every day. I doubt I've missed a day of my life, but I'd never know what it is. I don't know if it's a snatch of conversation I'm going to hear. I don't know if it's something that's going to happen to me, something I'm going to read. So what that does is makes me live my life being open to life at every moment. And so that's, if somebody wants to stop publishing my books tomorrow, they'll never take that away from me. I mean, I wrote 6 of them before anybody published them, so obviously, I'd like to keep the ball rolling because I'd like to feed my kid because I don't have any other skills short of ditch digging. And there's not really that much work for ditch digging right now either. I wrote my first book in 3rd grade. I mean, 3rd grade is pretty much when I decided I wanted to be a writer. My father gave me, when I was 8 years old, my father gave me Breakfast of Champions to read.
How old?
3rd grade.
Oh.
So I was 8 years old, 8 or maybe almost 9 years old, and my dad gave me Breakfast of Champions. So while my playground contemporaries were reading the Hardy Boys and the Great Brain, I was, learning about Wide Open Beavers and, Wayne Hubler and the gang. And my father also read Charles Dickens to me as a kid, and that stuck with me forever. I mean, that really is, those 2 writers probably really helped form my worldview more than anything else. And they fit because I grew up in a very quirky environment, and my family is very Dickensian in the truest sense, like in terms of characterizations, like bodybuilders. And my older brother made a living for 3 years playing Christmas carols in the middle of summer for a guy who thought he was going to build a flying saucer and land it on the White House lawn. Everybody I know is an eccentric in some way. It's sort of my MO to find their eccentricity. Everybody has them, and I like to maybe inflate them in a sort of Dickensian manner, I guess. But I think beneath that, the things that my characters will always have in common is that they're self-conscious. They have a healthy sense of self-contempt, I think, and they want to change. To me, character really ultimately is about decision. All that other, the eccentricities, these are characterizations. These are like little points of reminder that, we love people for their eccentricities and their weaknesses more so than their strengths. But really what it's about is the decisions those characters make. And really what the interior lives of my characters are about, and this is where the self-consciousness comes in, is that there's a lot of cycling. There's a lot of pros and cons. And this sounds like it could be boring, but this is tension. You know what I'm saying? In order to create tension, in order to speed your story along, you don't have to have a helicopter chase. Your character just has to want something, and as long as there's that tension there, I mean, really most tension comes from the gap between how somebody wants the world to be and how the world really is. Everything in between is about deferring that hope or whatever. Burn your rejection notices. Seriously, like I did the same thing. It was cathartic. I had probably 300 rejections. Most of them were form letters. And, I convinced myself that I had to keep these for my records. I have to know which story, I was just holding on to failure. I mean, it cannot be good juju to have a big box of rejections 2 feet from where I'm trying to work the magic. I literally burned them. And I kid you not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a chicken or an egg thing. 3 weeks later, all the same stories, probably a dozen stories that had been rejected 20, 30, 40 times each, probably. Self-identification. I mean, it's so hard. If you're writing to be published, you're wasting your time. And if you do succeed in getting published, in my opinion, you're wasting your reader's time. Write because you love to write, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you going through failure after failure. I think of the Charlie Kaufman line from Adaptation. You are what you love, not what loves you. You know what I mean? So think about that when you're at a party and somebody's going, so writing, anything published? We all know that uncomfortable situation. Oh, so 36 and you're still at this writing thing. How long are you going to give this, you know? And I say, you know what, fuck you, the rest of my life. That's what. I'll keep burying them. I don't care. I'm not in it to... And that's the only way you're ever going to get there. And I'm here to tell you that it's wonderful, but it doesn't touch. It doesn't touch just being able to do it and to be able to write and to get out of bed in the morning and do that and have that sense of purpose and direction and to be able to distill life and ideas that way. Publication doesn't touch. Awards, none of it touches that. So, you know, if you're feeling like, gosh, when am I ever going to break through? Don't worry about it, because it's not that great anyway. You've got the great thing now. Appreciate it. But like, it's not a collaboration. I love to collaborate too, but I mean, you got nobody to rely on. There's nothing that can keep you. Homelessness cannot keep you, as the history of literature is rife with homeless writers. Nothing can keep you from doing this. If you got the nub of a pencil, man, and a back of a newspaper, nothing can ever take that away from you. That's freedom, right?